Well, I don't think business students need to be encouraged to do anything in particular. What you have to do is show them the world, show them what's out there. And what I do believe is that you ought to show business students what the possibilities are, and that they ought to understand the social impact of business, and they ought to understand a lot about the communities in which business thrives. What I do find, though, is that there are many more students who are interested in social entrepreneurship and thinking about businesses that have a double bottom line. They want to do well and do good at the same time. And we actually have been, the Stern School of Business has been a leader in social entrepreneurship. We have a social entrepreneurship business plan competition that was one of the first and is one of the largest, and it gives away $100,000 a year to start up social. I mean, the winners of these competitions get that amount for getting their businesses off the ground. So it's that's something that we created because we believed in it. But students are what drive it. It's their interest that drives it. There's some fascinating ones. One of them that I remember quite well. It was a group that is really getting going and I think going to be successful, that developed a material for growing green roofs. So they recycle waste, styrofoam, and they produced a very light growing material that's ideally suited for green roofs. And they're finally really getting some traction. There are others that have, for example, one other example would be there's a group that developed a simultaneous translation system for emergency rooms. So when emergency rooms get patients who speak some other language that's not represented in the emergency room, which happens a lot in big city hospitals in New York, you might have somebody in your emergency room who speaks, who's Ukrainian or Russian or whatever, and so they developed this translation service so that patients could communicate with doctors. So it's complicated to explain how they do it, but in real time they can get the doctor or attending nurse can get a translation so that they can communicate to the patient.